Losing a pet is one of the hardest experiences a family can go through. For adults, it's already painful to face the absence of a loyal companion who shared so many special moments. But for children, the experience can be even more confusing and overwhelming. They may not understand why their best friend is suddenly not there to play with them anymore, or why daily routines have changed so abruptly. This is where parents face a difficult challenge. How to explain the death of a pet to a child in a way that is sensitive, honest, and comforting? Before we dive deeper into this delicate topic, let me make a quick invitation. If you find value in videos that help guide parents through life's hardest conversations with their children, from emotions to difficult real-life situations, make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll always have tools and thoughtful approaches at hand to turn challenging conversations into moments of connection and growth. Now, let's imagine a scene together. Your child wakes up excited in the morning, ready to call the dog to play, only to realize he's not there. Or maybe they return from school expecting to hear the familiar meow of their cat, but the house feels strangely silent. At that moment, a storm of questions may start to build. Where is he? Why didn't he come back? What happened? The child's heart fills with confusion, and it's the parent's role to welcome these questions with love, patience, and clarity. The first thing to understand is that for many children, a pet is not just an animal. To them, this furry friend is a family member, a playmate, and a constant source of comfort and joy. The death of a pet is often the first real experience of loss in a child's life. And because of that, the way parents handle this moment can strongly shape how the child will understand death and grief as they grow up. It's natural for adults to want to protect children from pain. Sometimes that leads to soft explanations like, he went away, or he's sleeping. While these phrases may seem gentler at first, they can actually create more confusion or even fear. Imagine how unsettling it might be for a child to hear that their pet went asleep and never woke up. That can cause anxiety around bedtime. Saying that the pet ran away may trigger feelings of abandonment or guilt, leaving the child wondering, did he leave because of me? Did I do something wrong? This is why honesty, delivered with care, is key. Parents should adapt their words to the child's age and level of understanding, but keep them clear and simple. A helpful way to explain might be something like, our dog was very sick and his body stopped working. That means he died and he won't come back. We're going to miss him so much, but we'll always remember him and keep him in our hearts. Equally important is validating the child's grief. Adults sometimes underestimate the depth of sadness children feel for a pet's death, assuming it will pass quickly or it's not as serious as losing a person. But to the child, the pain is very real, very raw, and deserves respect. Let them cry. Let them be sad. Encourage them to express anger or confusion if they need to. Listen closely when they want to talk and answer their questions, even if the same question comes up over and over. Repetition is a way for children to process and slowly accept reality. Rituals can also help children work through grief. Small acts of remembrance can be deeply healing. You might hold a little goodbye ceremony, plant a tree in honor of the pet, draw pictures, write letters, or make a photo album together. These acts show the child that while the pet's body is gone, the love and the memories live on. It also helps transform the pain into something tangible, a bridge from sadness to remembrance. Parents should also keep an eye on how their child reacts in the following days and weeks. Some children may have nightmares, act more withdrawn, or show signs of regression, like going back to thumb sucking or being afraid to sleep alone. These are natural responses to grief. Instead of dismissing them, parents should offer reassurance and extra comfort by saying, I'm here with you, or it's okay to feel this way. They show the child that grief is not something to hide or be ashamed of. Finally, one crucial reminder, do not rush the grieving process. Every child has their own pace when it comes to accepting loss. Avoid saying things like, you should be over by now, or we'll just get another pet. While adopting a new animal can be a positive idea in the future, it's important for the child to first process a goodbye fully, so they don't feel like one beloved friend was simply replaced by another. The death of a pet is a deeply painful event, but it's also an opportunity to teach children about love, impermanence, and resilience. If handled with care, this painful chapter can become a lesson in compassion and emotional strength. Every child experiences grief differently. While some may cry openly and express their sadness through words, others may go quiet, withdrawing into themselves. Some children might act out, showing anger or frustration in unexpected ways, while others might ask questions over and over again, almost as if they're trying to test whether the truth will change. For parents, witnessing these reactions can be just as difficult as coping with their own grief. But understanding the wide range of possible responses can make a world of difference. The key is to remember that there is no right or wrong way for a child to grieve. Their behavior is simply a reflection of how they are processing an experience that is, for many, entirely new. One common reaction is intense sadness, which may show up through tears, clinginess, or an increased need for comfort. In this case, children might ask to sleep in their parents' bed more often, want to hold a favorite toy constantly, or resist going to school. This behavior doesn't mean they are spoiled or regressing. It means they are seeking reassurance in a world that suddenly feels less safe. Parents can support them by providing extra affection, keeping routines stable, and offering plenty of hugs and words like, "I'm here with you, and we're going to get through this together." Another reaction is anger or frustration. A child might shout, slam doors, or get upset at small things more easily than before. Sometimes, this anger is directed at parents themselves, as if the child is blaming them for what happened. This can be painful, but it's important to see it as part of grief rather than defiance. A parent might calmly respond with, "I know you're upset, and it's okay to feel angry. I feel sad and angry too, but I love you and we can talk about it when you're ready." By naming the emotion and giving it space, parents teach children that even difficult feelings are valid and manageable. Some children may also respond with curiosity and repeated questions. Where did he go? Why did he die? Will he come back? For adults, repeating the same answers again and again can feel exhausting. But for children, repetition is a form of reassurance. It helps them build understanding and gradually internalize the permanence of death. A consistent, calm, and simple response is best, even if you've said it many times before. A less obvious but equally common reaction is silence or withdrawal. The child may not cry at all, choosing instead to sit quietly or pretend nothing happened. While this can be worrying for parents, it doesn't mean the child doesn't care or isn't affected. Often, children process grief internally before expressing it. What they need most in this stage is presence. A gentle phrase like, "I'm here whenever you want to talk," lets them know the door is always open without pressuring them to speak before they're ready. It's also essential to recognize the role of age and developmental stage. A toddler might not understand the finality of death at all, leading them to ask when the pet will come back. A school-age child might grasp that death is permanent, but struggle with fears about their own safety or the loss of other loved ones. Teenagers, on the other hand, may understand death fully but feel conflicted about showing their emotions, worrying they should appear strong. Parents can adjust their approach based on these stages, always blending honesty with compassion. One supportive strategy is to model healthy grief. Children watch their parents closely for cues on how to react. If they see you crying, it shows them that expressing sadness is natural and acceptable. At the same time, showing moments of resilience, cooking dinner, going for a walk, or telling a funny story about the pet, reassures them that life continues and joy can coexist with sorrow. Storytelling can also be a powerful tool. Sharing memories like, "Remember how Max used to run in circles whenever he got home from school?" not only brings comfort, but also emphasizes that grief is about remembering love, not just feeling pain. Encouraging children to tell their own stories gives them an active role in keeping the pet's memory alive. Parents should also watch for signs of prolonged or complicated grief. While sadness, anger, or confusion are normal in the first weeks, if a child continues to withdraw completely, refuses to eat, or experiences ongoing nightmares for months, professional help from a child therapist might be necessary. Seeking support doesn't mean you failed as a parent. It means you're giving your child the tools they need to heal fully. Another helpful step is offering children ways to express themselves creatively. Drawing, writing, singing, or even building something in honor of the pet can help channel emotions into a form they can understand. These creative outlets often allow children to express feelings they can't quite put into words. And finally, Always remind your child that they are not alone in their grief. A simple statement like, "I miss him too, and it's okay for us to be sad together," can strengthen the bond between parent and child during this vulnerable time. When grief is shared, it feels lighter. The death of a pet is not just about losing an animal. It's about losing a friend, a routine, and a piece of daily joy. Supporting children through this process requires patience, openness, and tenderness. But when done thoughtfully, it becomes not just a lesson in loss, but a profound opportunity to teach resilience, empathy, and the enduring power of love. One of the most powerful ways to help children cope with the death of a pet is by creating rituals of remembrance. Humans have used rituals for centuries to process grief and honor loved ones, and children can benefit greatly from having concrete ways to say goodbye and keep their pet's memory alive. These small but meaningful acts give structure to emotions that otherwise might feel overwhelming or confusing. A simple and often comforting ritual is holding a farewell ceremony. This doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be as simple as gathering the family in the backyard, a favorite park, or another special place the pet loved. Parents can encourage children to share memories, say thank you, or even read a letter aloud to the pet. By creating space for these goodbyes, children learn that grief is not about forgetting, but about honoring what was meaningful. For younger children, involving them in small symbolic acts can make the goodbye more tangible. Planting a tree, flowers, or even placing a small stone in the garden can serve as a living reminder. Each time the child sees a tree grow or the flowers bloom, they are reminded that while their pet is gone, the love continues. These physical markers give children a sense of continuity and comfort. Another meaningful ritual is creating a memory box or album. Parents can invite their child to gather photos, toys, or even a collar or blanket that belong to the pet. Placing these items in a decorated box makes the memories feel safe and accessible. When sadness hits, the child can open the box, hold those items, and feel connected to their pet once more. This ritual reinforces a message that grief does not erase love. It preserves it. Art and creativity can also play a powerful role in remembrance. Children might want to draw their pet, write poems, or even compose a little song. These forms of expression allow them to translate emotions into something tangible. For children who struggle to find words, creativity becomes their voice. Parents can encourage these activities without worrying about the outcome being perfect. The act itself is what matters. Some families find comfort in storytelling traditions, sitting down together and sharing stories about the pet, the silly habits, the funny accidents, the moments of pure affection. Not only strengthens family bonds, but also helps children reframe grief as a mix of sadness and gratitude. It teaches them that remembering can bring smiles as well as tears. Parents may also consider using books about pet loss as tools. There are many children's books designed to explain the concept of death in simple, compassionate ways, often through stories of animals themselves. Reading such a book together can help children feel less alone in their grief, offering both validation and comfort. Another valuable ritual is the act of lighting a candle or setting aside a special time to remember the pet. For example, on the pet's birthday or the anniversary of their passing, the family could come together, light a candle, and share a few words. Marking these moments helps children see that grief is ongoing but also manageable, woven into the fabric of family life rather than avoided. It's also important to give children a role in deciding how to honor the pet. Asking questions like, "What do you think would make our dog happy if he could see us now?" Or, "How would you like to say goodbye?" empowers them to participate actively in the grieving process. This not only validates their feelings, but also gives them a sense of agency during a time when much feels out of their control. Some parents may feel hesitant about introducing rituals, worrying that they will intensify the child's sadness. In reality, avoiding these goodbyes can sometimes prolong confusion and pain. Rituals, even simple ones, help children externalize their grief. They take what is invisible and heavy inside and transform it into something visible and shareable. For families with strong cultural or religious traditions, integrating those practices can also bring comfort. Whether it's a prayer, a blessing, or another form of spiritual remembrance, these rituals connect the child not only to their pet, but also to a larger sense of meaning. Parent can explain, "In our family, we believe that when someone dies, their spirit is at peace, and we keep their memory alive in our hearts." Even if the child doesn't fully grasp the concept, the ritual itself provides reassurance. Finally, remembrance is not limited to sadness. Encouraging moments of joy in memory of the pet can be deeply healing. Maybe the family can dedicate a fun day to do something the pet loved, like visiting a park or eating a special meal. Framing remembrance as both sad and joyful teaches children that grief is not a prison. It's a journey that includes laughter, gratitude, and love alongside tears. Through these rituals and traditions, children learn that death, while painful, is not the end of love. They discover that memories can be honored and that grief becomes lighter when it is expressed, shared, and transformed into something meaningful. And most importantly, they feel supported by their family, knowing that they are not facing their sadness alone. Saying goodbye to a pet is never easy. For many families, a dog, a cat, or even a small hamster is more than just an animal. They are part of the home, part of the daily routine, part of the love that fills a child's world. When that bond is suddenly broken, children feel a powerful mixture of sadness, confusion, and even guilt. As a parent, your role is to guide them through these emotions in a way that validates their grief, while also teaching them about love, loss, and resilience. The first step is honesty. Children deserve to know the truth, even if it's painful. Saying that Fluffy want to live on a farm or that Max just want to sleep may seem easier in the short term, but such stories can create fear and misunderstandings later. Instead, choose clear and age-appropriate language. For younger children, something as simple as, "Our pet died," which means his body stopped working and he won't be coming back. It's very sad because we loved him and he loved us. This explanation avoids confusion and gently introduces a concept of death without frightening metaphors. Just as important as the words you choose is the space you create for your child's feelings. Encourage them to share what they miss most about their pet. Some may cry, others may draw pictures, write notes, or simply sit quietly. Assure them that all these reactions are okay. Remind them that feeling sad shows how much love they had, and that love doesn't disappear even when the pet is gone. This validation is crucial for children to process grief in a healthy way. Many children will ask the why question. Why did our pet have to die? Depending on your child's age and worldview, you might explain that pets live shorter lives than humans, that illness or age made their body stop working, or if your family has spiritual beliefs, you can gently include those. The key is to answer honestly, without overwhelming them. A child doesn't need every medical detail, but they do need reassurance that death wasn't their fault and that it wasn't caused by something they did or didn't do. Rituals help bring closure. Consider holding a small farewell ceremony where each family member can share a memory. Planting a tree, making a scrapbook, or framing a favorite photo can transform loss into a lasting tribute. These rituals give children something tangible to hold on to and help them understand that it's okay to remember without being trapped in sadness. Over time, your child may bring up your pet unexpectedly while setting the table, during bedtime, or on a walk. Don't avoid these moments. Welcome them. Each memory shared is an opportunity to reinforce that grief is a journey, not a single event. Let them know it's natural to feel sad sometimes and happy other times, even about the same loss. Finally, talk about the idea of new beginnings carefully. Some families adopt another pet quickly, while others wait months or years. If your child suggests getting a new animal right away, explain that while no pet can replace the one who has died, love is something that can grow again. Framing it this way teaches that moving forward doesn't mean forgetting. The death of a pet is often a child's first direct encounter with mortality. While painful, it can also be a profound lesson in empathy, compassion, and resilience. By guiding them with honesty, creating rituals of remembrance, and validating their emotions, you're not only helping them grieve, you are teaching them one of life's deepest truths. Love is powerful, and though loss is inevitable, love remains.